All right. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Hawah HaKodash, send double honors to our apostle elders and here, Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So we're going to listen to a brother speak. He goes by the name of D. Brad, or his real name, David K. Farr L. There's a video put up in 2015, which you could tell is an older video. The video is titled Former BET MTV Producer Tells the Cold Truth About Working in the Music Industry and TV Industry. At this section right here, the 10-minute mark is captioned Inner Workings. We're going to let him speak, and we're going to let him explain how from the inner workings of the society, behind the scenes of what you see as, television or Hollywood, anything that's advanced in this world that can allow you to be on TV or on media or on the front screen or the back or the front screen or in the background behind the big productions that go on outside in this world, whether it be BET, MTV, where that deals with television and that deals with music as well. He's going to explain to you what really goes on behind the scenes. And, you hear us talk about it all the time. You hear other celebrities talk about it all the time. And it should just sit with you as a reminder that there's nothing good in this world. Us as Israelites were naturally talented and gifted people. And we all have dreams, aspirations, and we want to be able to fulfill the height of those dreams and aspirations. The downside is we live in the land of Babylon the Great, and this is ran by Satan. And yet you have our people who still want to believe that they can achieve those dreams and they can overcome these obstacles and these gatekeepers, and they can achieve greatness because they've seen their favorite celebrities or superstars on TV growing up, and they want to be in those shoes. And then you hear about all of the horrible things that happen behind the scenes, and you may not want to believe it because it stands in the way of what you believe and what you want to achieve. But this is the cold reality we live in. This world is evil. The one who's in rulership right now, which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he is the physical counterpart of Satan, and Satan operates through him. And this is his world, and what you perceive to be good or what you perceive to be the way how it should be is not. And there is a glass ceiling, and the moment you hit a certain height or a certain level, and if you want to advance and go further and use your God-gifted talents, you are going to be met by what they call the gatekeepers, and they will block you from reaching certain heights. And the only way to achieve that is to do something that's against the scriptures, aka sinning, doing something that's abominable. And all your favorite celebrities and rappers and hip hop artists and your actors, whoever they are, trust and believe they've all had to do something that's degrading, that's immoral, that's a sin against the whole the scriptures, a sin against the Most High, to achieve that. And it's actually better, as the scriptures tell you, to just really just be content. The scriptures teach contentment. And this is how you can protect yourself from the wiles of the devil.
Now it's time for them to introduce me to the inner workings of this monster that's created. And that's why nowadays we see people caught up on secret societies, but ain't no secret if everybody's talking about it. Everybody talks about the Skull and Bones, A, B, C, and D, because that's old news. You feel what I'm saying? What's happened is it was passed down to to everyone in the urban industry. So now you have a rapper who will get turned out by a high-ranking label exec because, well, what you gonna do? I mean, if I want to be a rapper and I walk in and the label exec tells me that this is what I need to do for him because, hey, he put my album on when I really wasn't that talented. But they pushed me because they saw that I was something that they could sell. So when you bring me in a room and there's my favorite rapper right there who's in the same room, so that must mean he must have committed the same gay act as I did. So at the end of the day, depending on where your level is within yourself, you go do it. And it's easy for those of us to sit back and say you wouldn't do it. But the majority of us, and I know it's going to be kind of harsh, but the majority of us will never fulfill our dreams. So we'll never be in a position to say what we would or would not do. You understand what I'm saying? We'll never be in that position. Because before I got there, I would say the same thing until I got there. You understand? So I literally lived with the devil taking me to the mountain and saying, you can either go to the left, you can have all of this. And I was there. It was ritualistically done. The vice president sent his right-hand man to me 3 straight weekends. They do everything in threes. 3 weekends in a row. Hey, D-Brad, let's go hang out. And every weekend, he kept beating me in the head. Get rid of this Rap City, man. You can do more than Rap City, D-Brad. You can do more than you need to come with us. Then the 3rd night, it was the vice president's birthday. They picked me up in a long white stretch limo. We go to Joe's Uptown, up in the Bronx in New York. We go to Joey hanging in VIP. Get me everything I want. Then every time we hung out, it was the same way. Then they bring me to the back room. And in the back room, they have this long table with a white sheet set out. I mean, beautiful thing. Looked like the damn Last Supper. On one end is Derek Jeter. There's Stephon Marbury. There's Fat Joe. And I'm chilling. But the whole night, the vice president is on me like this. I'm trying to talk to the model chicks. He's like, nah, D-Brad, come on, sit right here. So then we party, but I'm not a drinker. So if I don't get unnecessary spirits inside of me, we get inside the limo. He drops his right-hand man off quickly. We're in the car, the man standing across looking at me like I owe him something now. And I know the look because when I was young, I had the same look for women that I took out. So I know the look, and I know the energy. And while he's doing that, he's sitting there with his legs spread open, rubbing his balls. Now, I'm in a situation where I'm like, no, what am I going to do? This is my vice president, this is my boss. But the problem is, I was just raised differently. You understand what I'm saying? I was brought up differently. So for me, I had to turn that away. But what the hell that I caught after that, this is why I don't come down on those who buffoon and sell out, because everybody ain't built for this war. Everybody's not built for that.
So what he's saying is he had integrity. And he has some level of faith to say, I'm not doing that. So, he's coming from a standpoint to saying that if you don't have the same amount of faith, or if you don't have any integrity, you might just give in too. But his whole point is that he's shedding the light that he saw it firsthand. He's just one of hundreds that speak on the same thing that you hear about. And when, you try to relay that message to, say, one of your own, because they don't want to believe that that's the case. And like I said, they got their own dreams, aspirations. They want to believe that I don't believe it. And in their mind, they're saying, well, let me see for myself. So if I can get to the point where I can get there, then I can see for myself. But chances are they might just end up doing it anyway. So that what you should learn from that is that this world is evil. And you shouldn't even concern yourself about trying to reach a certain height in the society, because you should know that it's ran by Satan. So what you think should be the way is not the way. I mean, I don't know how many people who have to tell you, who were in the inner workings, who were in the seat, who actually saw it for themselves and turned it down, or a lot of them did do it, and then they're voicing their opinion, they're shedding the light on what really goes on behind the scenes. I don't know how many people and testimonies you guys need to hear out there for you to accept that this world is full of wickedness. Forget about it. We'll quote what he said back in Luke chapter 4 in verse 5. And the devil, taking him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. That includes America and the UK. That includes this current world. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, to whomever I will give it. If thou therefore will worship me, all shall be thine. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. So that was the correct response that even that brother did. He just said, I was raised differently. So I said no. In a sense, he's saying he has some type of integrity and faith to say, I'm not doing that just for no money. And he could testify. He's like, the hell I caught afterwards by denying that. He's saying that this is not for the weak. But that's the truth. 1 John chapter 5, verse 18. We know that whosoever is born of Yahweh sinneth not, but he that is begotten of Yahweh keepeth himself, and that wicked one toucheth him not. So if you're born of Yahweh, you're going to keep yourself, and you have to keep yourself under subjection. The temptation is going to always be around you. Like I said, we're all naturally gifted and talented people. Everybody wants to reach Hollywood or MTV or BET or be on the big screens, and they want to go to this level. And what happens is they get to a certain height, and then the devil, he uses your talents to say, I can see real potential in this one. We can really use this man or woman to push an evil agenda. And we can make them do it, but they're going to have to give up their integrity. They're going to have to commit a sin in the scriptures. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to deal with homosexuality or being turned out. So that, especially if you're a man, so that's going to be your access. Your access is that you have to give something up to the devil so that you can advance. It says, if you're born of Yahweh, you keepeth yourself, and the wicked one touches him not. Verse 19, and we know that we are of Yahweh, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. It all lies in wickedness. I've had debates, so to speak, with Jake, who want to believe that, maybe Tyler Perry, he just likes wearing women clothes. That's what the guy said to me. Maybe that's just something he liked. Maybe he's just saying that. First of all, I said the man's a sodomite. Second of all, he's doing that, and he's portraying an evil message to our people. And for him to get so high in the society, he has to degrade himself. And I said, that's why you got the Kevin Hart's. He said the same thing, right? Didn't he say on camera, I would never wear a dress? Next thing you know, he pranced around in dress because he had a low level of faith and no integrity. When you hear all these people say these testimonies of how they want to put you in a dress like they did with, Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, like that's real. Like that's some real ritualistic, satanic rituals, humiliation rituals that you have to undergo if you want to advance. But dude, I don't know. Maybe have you seen it with your own eyes? You see, that's what you call we're being rebellious, because he or Jake naturally think that they can do it in radio or they can get the highest, and they want to believe that they can reach those levels, and the world isn't like that. The world just offers you options, and then you can get there too. You just have to work hard. Dude, Satan runs this world. It's only so high you can get in this world before the devil comes to you, and you got to be tested. And the snare of it all is covetousness, as 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm going to start at 9. It says, but they that will be rich, fall into many but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Yeah, because once you commit an act like that, you've done it. And it's on your mind. And now, in your mind, you saying, well, shit, I got to go all out now because I done already had to commit this abominable act. And now I got to go further. And then they come visit you again. And you thinking like, man, I already did it once. And they're like, look, nigga, what you think this is? You already committed now. We already got you now. So then they keep going and going. And you see they end up destroying themselves. Go look at Lil Wayne when he first started, when he was a young man, versus now. It's like night and day. He looks destroyed now. But back then he looked somewhat normal. Go look at all these before and afters of all your favorite rappers like Rihanna. At one point she was decent, but then she made that album Good Girl Gone Bad, and that's where you saw her transform. That's where you saw she sold out. She gave in. And then look at her now. She's basically destroyed. Just go look before and after, and you really want to sit up here and act like, no, that's not the truth. That's not the case. You got these people telling you from the insides, from the inner workings, this is what happens. This is reality. And you could tell a video like that was made either in the 90s or early 2000s. And look at the long run. Look at how they turn up. They turn up completely destroyed. Hey, Chris Brown is another example. Very talented individual. When you first saw him on the scene, he looked like a regular kid with a potential future, but he wanted more. And look at where he's at now. He looks destroyed. He is destroyed. Because that's desire of covetousness. You know, that's how the devil play on your heart. They let you get a little further. They dangle some carrots in your face, and then they say, hey, we're the gatekeepers. The only way to advance now, you're going to have to bend over. And bend over, that's just a word to summarize doing something abominable or doing something degrading that's against the scriptures, that's against your morals, against your integrity to advance. And since you are covetous, which covetousness means greedy of gain. Let's look at the word coveted. Greek word coveted or ego. It says to stretch one's self out in order to touch or to grasp something, to reach after or desire something, to give oneself up to the love of money. Wow. Right. So you're really breaking your neck to achieve something. And in the end, you only hurt yourself. And that's because of covetousness. So the way to counter that is if we read up verse 6 is contentment. Verse 6, it says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. See, content means you are sufficient. Content means you don't have that burning or lustling desire for more. You may try to reach for it, but if the devil meets you halfway, you say, well, fuck it. I'm content with where I'm at. That's how you protect yourself. The Greek word content, archeo, to be possessed of unfailing strength, to be strong, to suffice, to be enough. Yeah, to be satisfied. Yeah, you satisfied. That's why he said to go on. He said, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts which drown men in destruction and perdition. That's what you're going to lead to when you are covetous after more and more and more. It says in Proverbs 28:22, he that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. Right, because the reason it says that is because if you have an evil eye, because you hasten to be rich, that means you're longing for more, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that. So you'll set a man up for $1. If you degrade yourself, then you'll do something evil to another man. You see? And that's because that covetous spirit, the desire to have more, the desire to be rich, that's the snare. Go to Sirach chapter 31. We'll start at the top. It says, watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep. Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaketh sleep. The rich have great labor in gathering riches together, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicacies. The poor laboreth in his poor state, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold have been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. Now, gold, aka money, doesn't hurt you, but it's your desire for it. That's how it's gonna ruin you, because as the saying goes, man's supposed to make money, not the other way. You don't let the money make you, you make the money. It says, it is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. What does that mean? It's those who sacrifice unto it, meaning those who worship it, those who idolize money. And that's basically your everyday rapper now. Okay, because money is a god. Gold is a god. That's why they name themselves after that. Right? I'm Cash Money. Lil Dinero. Big money. Rich man, Little Rich. And the names go on. They name themselves after what? After money. Right? I'm Lil Paper. So it's a guide unto them. And it's the ruin of them. And to achieve the level that they've reached, they had to have what we like to say sold out. That is the true inner workings that goes on behind the scenes. And you don't want no part of that. It's actually better to be just a regular person that's content with what he has. You could strive for more, but be willing to be content with what you have, because if you covet it, that's how the devil is ready to meet you there if he sees that you covetous, because he can give you access to more, but it's going to be at a detrimental cost. And that's why you find it hard to find those who got deep into the society, deep into Hollywood, that turn from their ways, because they tell themselves, I didn't have to do this just to get here. Now I have to have it all. I can't stop. And that's why they get hooked on drugs. They get hooked on getting tattoos and all these things, especially the drugs. They can't be sober. A lot of them can't sit sober, because then all their thoughts of how they achieved where they're at is going to plague their mind. So they stay drugged up. They just constantly moving. Maybe you do a video with this person, video with that type of song, moving. They can't sit still. They just got to keep going, because mentally they're destroyed through that perdition and that through that hurtful lust. As Ephesians 6:11 says, put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This is true. And it doesn't sit right with our people to know that, because they tell themselves in this life, they want to achieve this, they want to achieve that. And they want to believe that the world just offers them the options and the access to do so with no strings attached. But that's not the case. And when they finally get to that point, then they get to realize that it isn't what they thought it was. And then they're left with an option. You're either going to bend over, or you're going to stick to your integrity. And 9 times out of 10, they bend over because they want to make it. They can't accept being content on being poor or on a certain level. This is why it's important when Yahushua said in Matthew 16:24, then said Yahushua unto disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Look at that, the caption right there says, discipleship is costly. Yeah. We go to the Greek word there, deny, aparniomai. Verse, the letter B, it says, to forget oneself, lose sight of one's self and one's own interest. Which means, and this is probably the hardest step that a man has to make, man or woman has to make to come serve the Lord. You have to know how to put your interest behind and the Lord's interest first. That's called denying yourself. And that's really hard for Israel to do because nobody wants to give up maybe something that they truly may want to do in this world in order to serve the Lord. And whatever those are, they don't want to give it up. And typically it just it's the desire, covetous, the desire of more, because we all like music, and a lot of brothers, even sisters, do music, which is fine. But the idea of making it in this world that's not gonna happen. But Israel doesn't like to hear that. Denying yourself or the things you want to do, or your dreams or your aspirations for the Lord is very hard, a very difficult thing for Jake to do. And this is why you see Israel will tend to do what? Try to merge the two. I'm not giving up on nothing, but in fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring it into the truth. So this is where you have rap videos with fringes. This is where you have rap battles, Israelite rap battles, Israelite hip hop awards, Israelite wrestling, Israelite basketball. And the list goes on. Israelites sitting down with gang members, because these are the things that you did in the world. And when you come into the truth, you're supposed to put those things away, or you leave the truth by itself. The truth needs no assistance. The truth doesn't need anything added to it. The Lord's way is his way. It's perfect. But the flesh and the inability to deny oneself of, well, look, I want to be a famous rapper, so I'm not going to give that up. I'm just going to rap and do Hebrew at the same time. And I want to be famous, and I want to make money off of it. And I want to hit the block. I don't have to let nothing go. I can just bring the truth involved in my life, when it's the opposite. You're supposed to shed that off for the truth. It's really hard. But you see, the inner true workings of this wicked ass society is evil, man. There's nothing out there. There's nothing out there for you. You're going to be limited to the point where the devil's going to come and meet you and ask you to go off. And if you are covetous, the covetousness is going to lead you to going off. That's why the scriptures teach contentment. I'll read that again. Sirach 31:5. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold have been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. So look at the before and afters of these people. Their destruction is present. They're ruined. Why? Because they wanted more. Like Kevin Hart, he wanted more. He wasn't content on what he had. He wanted more. That's why he put on that dress. And the next thing you know, he's doing all these movies, getting humped by the Rock and all these degrading things. Why? He knows it ain't right, but he wanted more. That's covetous. And in the end, it's going to plague his conscience as it already is. So the safest option is just to hold fast your integrity and be willing to say no. Because this world is given to Satan, man. Ain't nothing out here, man. Don't think you're missing out on anything, man. In this world, it's full of evil. Okay? It's wickedness, and that's why we just pray for the Lord to hastily destroy this place. Because this is Satan's world, man. The Lord, I'll end it with that. John 18:36, Yahushua speaking. Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then will my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now my kingdom but now is my kingdom not from hence. So this isn't Yahushua's kingdom. This isn't our kingdom either. We can't have, we're under captivity. Okay, we're limited. All right, we really just should let everything in this place go and say, F it, look at all those people who lost their homes by that, how should you say, fire, right? Which we know is all according to their plan so that they can rebuild for more 15-minute cities. Look at all those people who lost all that. And those by the hand of the devil. There's nothing in this world that's secure. This isn't the place that we can call home. This place is just evil. So you have to be willing to deny yourself for the sake of the Lord and turn your back on this world and cleave to Yahweh Shem Yahushua and just pray for the speedily destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great. With that, shalom.